Today we are making a video on Nitrux OS 2.8 version. So here is a boot menu of a Nitrux OS. So let's quickly boot it in a live boot. And it should take like a maximum of 1 minute or a minimum of 30 to 40 seconds. That's the basic timing of every Linux distro, which will take to load up the desktop layout. I'm using it in a virtualization, which is a VMware with 80 GB of hard disk, 4 GB of RAM, and with 2 processors running. So I forgot to mention that I will be posting 2 videos daily. So there is also a video available already available in my channel. So if you want to check that out, you can check that out after watching this video. There is already a video posted. So I'll be posting 2 videos daily without missing any days. So if you want to subscribe, you can subscribe. So again, we should be seeing our desktop layout in any second, because it should take a few seconds to load up completely. And this version is released like a few hours ago, I guess. It's Nitrux OS 2.8 or Nitrux Linux 2.8. And here you can see a mouse pointer. You should be seeing a mouse pointer with a highlighter because I set it up in my screen recorder. NXT. Just a few more seconds and we should be seeing our desktop layout completely. It should take like 30 to 40 seconds because these are all the common or usually used Linux distro. Some Linux distro will take a lot of time. Just a few Linux distro, not every Linux distro. So I think this is the welcome screen and we should be seeing our dock here. We saw our dock here. So let's first quickly change the display resolution because it is pretty odd here. It's a KDE Plasma desktop environment, so you need to right click on the desktop settings. Let's change the resolution to 1920 into 1080. This is my monitor settings. If you can't see the text or font size in your PC, you need to change the global scaling to 125 to 150%. If you are using a 1920 into 1080, 150% or 120% will be best option or the tip from me. So click on apply. Let's keep it. I don't know what happened, maybe some of the bugs, I guess. And I think these are some of the bugs not working properly. We need to wait for a few more seconds, I guess. This is always the problem with the Nitrux Linux. It always have sometimes issues with this Linux distro. I think I downloaded this file early. Maybe they are fixing still. I don't know properly anything. And you can see there is a bit of problem here. There is nothing changing here. So let's close the and here you can see there is a freeze, I guess. I don't know. I tried to close the virtualization and it fixed it automatically. I don't know what it is from. And I'm using the latest CPU, which is a 12th gen i5. So I don't know what is the problem. Even I made already a content on every Linux distro. I didn't have any problem, but it was a bug from the Linux distro, I guess. We don't know properly. So let's first check out the information of the Nitrux, which is 2.8.0, and this is the website to download. And the version of a KDE Plasma is a 5.27.4, which is a latest version, and Frameworks is also latest version, which is a 5.105. Qt version is a 5.15.9, and kernel version is a 6.2.13. The latest version of Linux kernel is a 6.13, not the 6.13, it's a 6.3. Graphics platform is a X11. Here are some of the information of my hardware. So let's quickly close this thing and open the system monitor and check out the resources. I'm going to open the system monitor again at the end of the video, so you should be having an idea and you should be able to judge how much resources are consuming, and you should judge and you should be having an idea of to use this Linux distro or not. So here are the resources consuming. It's almost a 1.5 GB of a 4 GB RAM. I already mentioned I'm using a 4 GB RAM for my VMware. Here is the RAM. CPU is also good, which is under 30%. So disks are here. These are all the process running right now. Let me quickly scroll it down. So these are some of the information here. And internet. Let's open applications. There is nothing. Historial. Here is the graph of a CPU and the RAM. There is a bit of a high peak here and there, not constantly, but somewhere occasionally. So RAM, cache memory is 2 GB, physical memory is 1.5 GB, buffer memory is 4.1 MB. So here are complete information. Try to ignore the network because you don't need to worry about the network. You just need to worry about the CPU and the RAM. Process are running right now are here, as you can see. So these are some of the information. Let's check out the system monitor version 5.27.4. So let's close this thing and open the terminal, which is station. And let's try to get some of the information of the distro or the distribution. Let's type in the command, which is inxi-sv8. This is the command which will grab complete distro information. Here is the complete distro information. First I typed it wrongly, so as you can see I typed ini instead of inxi-sv8. So let's go to all the information. Under system, host is a lie because we booted in a live boot. If you change the rename, you should be seeing renamed here. Kernel is a 6.2.13, which I already mentioned. It's a Liquorix and it's a 64-bit architecture. Compiler GCC version is 11.3.0. And desktop environment is a KDE Plasma with a 5.27.4. Qt version is a 5.15.9. And distro is a Nitrux 2.8.0. Build is a 300.423.tf. WM is a Kevin_X11. And machine, it says I'm using a VMware. Because I'm using a VMware, it says a VMware. BIOS Phoenix version is a 6.00. And under memory, which is a RAM, 4 GB of RAM using is a 1.51 GB, which is a 40%. Here is my CPU information. If you want to check that out, you can check that out by pausing the video. Let's scroll it down and find some of the information. And under the graphics, VMWGFX version is a 2.20.0. So the display is a X11 server Xorg version 1.21.1.7 and XVLAN version is a 22.1.9. So let's scroll it down again and find some of the information. And under monitor, you get this many display resolutions to change. You can change on your own. And on the audio, here are some of the information. Pipewire version is a 0.3.65. And the pulse audio version is a 16.1. So let's scroll it down and let's find out other information. So process running right now are 265, uptime is 6 minutes, wake ups are 39, OpenRC version is 0.45.2, and the compiler I already mentioned and already said, shell version ZSH version 5.9, INXI version is 3.3.26. So let's type in the commands which will give the same information as the above but in a short form, which is INXI. Here is the information, INXI-b. Here is the information again, INXI-G. Here is the complete version. XVLAN version is a 22.1.9. So let's type in the another command, which is a cat:/etc/issue. Hit enter. It's a Nitrux, it says. Let's type in neofetch. Neofetch command not found. Let's type in htstop. Here is the desktop, here is the RAM, here is the CPUs, here are tasks. So let's scroll it down. I think we covered everything of the distro information, so let's close it. So let's go to the web browser and check out the official website, and I'm going to show you the downloading process. Firefox is the default web browser of the Nitrux. So here is our Firefox web browser completely loaded. So let's check out the version of our Firefox first. It's a 1112, which is the latest version of a Firefox. You get a latest version of a Firefox here. So let's type in the search term, which is a Nitrux OS. This is the search term you need to type in your web browser or in the search engine. This is the website, which is nxos.org. This is the official website, and here is the complete information. The latest release is Nitrux 2.8.0. Here is the release announcement. If you want, you can download it right here. So this is the information available immediately. Let's check out what's new first. So here is the information. I showed you the every version, which is a Firefox, also the KDE Plasma, Frameworks, KDE Gear. I completely showed everything. So this is the installation. I'm going to show you after this downloading process. So these are all the changes. If you want to go through all these things, you can go through on your own. Droid on Nitrux, some keyboard, ZSH. These are all some of the information. In order to download, you can choose this available options or available mirrors. You can directly click on ISO file, which is a direct HTTP, which will take to SourceForge. So here is the ISO file, which is around 3.3 GB, and downloads are 226, and I am one of them. So it should take like a 5 seconds, and it should trigger a download here. We should be having our download in any seconds. So I showed you how to download, I showed you the website, and I showed you what's new in the Nitrux 2.8.0. So I'm using a VPN, so it's a bit slow for me. If you're still facing while downloading, you just need to delete the download and click on problems downloading and change the server. You should be having this internet or the downloading speed. Change the mirror to United States. You should be having speed, and it's always a problem in the Nitrux. You should be having some bug always. So let's try to ignore that thing. So here are some of the desktop features. So let's go to all the desktop features: notifications, volume, keyboard, disks and printers, network, integration. Let's go to the installation process. I am going to show you the installation process. Double clicking on installer should launch the installer. So the version should be here. Check out the version before clicking on it. Clicking on about will open the Firefox web browser, as you can see there. So let's first check the language. I'm going to choose American English, and this is the basic installation step in every Linux distro. There is no complicated things here. So it's a Calamares installer. I'm choosing English United States. You can choose any language by scrolling down here. There are plenty of languages available. Click on next. Region, you don't need to provide your actual region. You can provide anything you want. I'm going to choose a random thing and click on next. And here is a keyboard model. It automatically chooses your keyboard. I'm using a Dell wireless keyboard, so it automatically chooses as a generic 105 key PC. It always gives this name for the Dell wireless keyboard of mine. So click on next. So you need to provide your username, password here. You don't need to provide your actual username. You can give any username you want. For example, like runboxing for me. Computer name is also same. So let me copy and paste it here. Password, you don't need to you need to provide a strong password here because it's a safe option to keep your PC good or safe. So you need to provide the strong password, and always write down this password because you don't want to forget it and struggle for the password. So always give the strong password and write down the password. That's a tip from me, because you don't want to struggle for that and you don't need to scratch your head for the password to remember. So for the sake of the video, I'm choosing a simple password, which is a 12345. You don't need to provide like that. You need to provide the strong password if you want to use it on your main PC or for work PC. So click on next. You should be having a partitions here. First you need to choose your hard disk here, or a installation destination. So if you have a multiple hard disk, you need to choose your own here. So be careful while doing this because it's going to delete the current operating system and install the Nitrux Linux and delete everything in the operating system, like files, movies, everything. So be careful, and you need to be having an idea of what you're doing here. So first I'm choosing the RS disk. If you want to boot in a single boot, you need to choose a RS disk. If you want to manual partitioning and do something else, and you want to dual operating system or a dual boot, you can choose the manual partitioning. I'm choosing a RS disk, and you can choose other options here and here also. If you want to encrypt your system, you need to provide the password for the boxes available here. You need to give both the same passwords. So if you want to encrypt, you need to choose this option. Here is a bootloader location. The automatic one is the best option. If you want to do that later on your own, you can choose the do not install a bootloader location, or if you want, you can choose the system partition on your own. So I'm going to choose this default one. Click on next, and here is the summary of what you choose in the previous steps. So everything will be here, and this is the things will happen after clicking on install. And the installation process will take up to like a maximum of 20 minutes or a minimum of 5 to 10 minutes. It completely depends on the PC and the Linux distro. So none of the people can exactly say what time it takes. It completely depends on your PC and the Linux distro. So this was the installation process. So let's close this thing because I don't want to install it on my PC or a VMware. So that was the process of installation. So these are all the available or the pre-installed apps which comes with the Nitrux OS 2.8. So here is a web drive. If you want to download, you can download it here. I don't want, so let me close this thing. So let's open the package manager or a software manager here. Let's check out the about version. Here is the about, which is the software center NX. So you can install anything you want. Let's maximize these things. So here are all the available apps you can install, or there are also games here. So you can do anything you want. So always boot it in a live boot. After you satisfied with the live boot for 3 to 4 hours, then go with the installation. So that's a good tip from me, and it will keep you safe because if you face anything in a live boot like a bugs, all these things, so you will be aware of you don't need to install that Linux distro. So that's a tip from me. So I always say this thing because I don't want you to ruin your PC. So that's the tip from me. So that was a software manager. This is a text editor, which is Nota, I guess. So let me close this thing. And I think we should have a bug again. Cabin closed unexpectedly. It's always a problem with this Nitrux Linux again. In my previous video also, there is always a bug for these things. I don't know how to fix this thing. We are sorry, Kevin closed unexpectedly. It's always a problem with this Kevin app. So let me close this thing, and let's check out some of the available apps here. So what else we get here are some of the basic things like Steam and bottles, which is here. I don't know where it was like a heroic launcher, I guess, but we can't find any heroic launcher here. In the previous version there is a heroic launcher. I'm opening a lot of apps, but none of the apps are opening. Let's wait for a few seconds again. Let's check out if it opens or not. Pix version is here, so let's close this thing. And this is a media player, so let's open that also. So we covered everything, so let's here is a version. Let me close this version of a clip. Launching, notify, launching itch.io. I think it will download first, and you should be having your username and password, and you need to create your account here. If you already have, you can log in directly there. So here is the workspace. You can choose a 4 desktops or a 5, you can add on your own. So I think we covered everything, I guess. There is nothing left, just a basic apps which were available in the past version also. I showed what is new, so there is no need to show every app here. So even let me close this thing because I don't want to. So let's open the system monitor and check out the resources at the ending. I already showed you at the beginning, so I'll show you at the end of the video. I think it was like a 1.5 GB in the beginning of the video. Right now it's a 2.2 GB. I don't properly remember because I will be posting 2 videos daily. So today I'm making a 4 videos at once. So I don't properly remember. If you remember, you can you will be getting an exact numbers of how much resources are consuming at the end of the video and the beginning of the video. And CPU, as you can see, there is a going crazy right here. So it's clearly up to you to judge, and if you want to use this Linux distro, it's up to you to use it or not. In my opinion, if you don't find any bugs, you can use it. If you find any bugs, it's better to skip this Linux distro. So it's clearly up to you. So you can judge on your own if you want to use it or not. So CPU is also going crazy, RAM is also going crazy here. So I closed everything. I didn't open that many of apps, just a few apps. It is going crazy, as you can see. I don't have any hate for this Linux distro, but when you use it Linux distro, you get bugs like this constantly, and some of the things will happen. So it's going to be a bad experience. So it's clearly up to you to use it or not. So always boot it in a live boot and then go with the installation if you are satisfied, and if it satisfied you. So these are all the process, and I showed everything, so there's nothing left. So let me close and end the video. Again, thanks for watching the video. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, hit the thumbs up button. It helps make a good content for you. Other than that, I'll see you in tomorrow's video. Peace out. I already made another video, so if you want to check that out, you can check that out after watching this video.